I'm curious if you had any trepidation profiling a 16-year-old, putting him on the cover, and those words LeBron James coming into the story. We're used to players being a little bit older and they could handle that kind of publicity, but at age 16, any trepidation?
Absolutely, Dan. First of all, when I went to do the assignment, I did not know it was going to be a cover. So just to do a feature story in a magazine like SI, a kid who's 16 years old, and really the world hadn't heard of him. It's not like an Olympic gymnast who we see out there at 13, 14. So to introduce a guy to the national landscape at 16, I had a lot of trepidation. First of all, on two levels, Dan. First of all, there was no guarantee that this guy would actually be that good, right?
Yeah.
A lot of youth sports is all about the pituitary gland, how quickly you develop physically and mature at a young age. You get an advantage when you do that early. And the other thing was just emotionally, intellectually, how advanced, how mature was he in that regard to handle that. And I have to tell you, Dan, that after watching him play, but mostly after going to dinner with him and his parents, I lost all of that trepidation. I mean, he is an old soul kind of person anyway, but the maturity was off the charts at 16 years old. This was a kid who knew exactly what he wanted and how to go about it. And then, again, understand, Dan, that he basically taken every at-bat in his life, his young life, at that, under scrutiny and a lot of derision, to be honest with you, because in the amateur sports world, in baseball, everybody had heard of Bryce Harper. So there was always a spotlight on him. That was something that he was used to.
Has he lived up to the billing?
Oh, I think he has. When you look at what he's done best, Dan, and that is hit home runs and get on base with walks, what he's done through this age 26, it is a Hall of Fame type track. Very few players, first of all, get to the big leagues at 19. He had one of the best teenage seasons at 19. So, yes, this is what he is. And it's easy in today's world to say what he is not. He is not a high average hitter. He's certainly not a contact hitter. He hasn't been a great outfielder, but remember, he was a catcher growing up, right? Everybody decided he was just so good offensively, you couldn't put him behind the plate. You wanted to keep him fresh. So to me, my comp, Dan, is Reggie Jackson, right? Would you say Reggie Jackson was one of the 5 or 10 best players of all time? No. Would you say that Reggie Jackson was one of the 5 or 10 players you would pay a ticket to watch play? The answer to that is yes. He makes teams play, makes teams better, and he makes the game a heck of a lot more interesting because of the way he plays.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.